everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, February 20th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are still actionable and are not too extended in their move. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily, curating ideas from their stock lists. You can find more from them with a link in the description of this YouTube video. Now, we got 5 names to go through in today's video. Most of these names do have earnings coming up. That seemed to be the low-hanging fruit. The names that looked best here seem to be some names that are reporting soon, so do keep that in mind. And of course, do your own homework on these names. These are not recommendations to go out and buy right now. They're simply names that are holding up well and are worth paying attention to, at least from our perspective as a swing trader. So the first name, and this comes from IBD's list, is ALSN. This reports earnings tomorrow, so we do want to be careful here, but I like this 4-week sideways pattern here. This is a weekly chart we're looking at, and we basically have had a series of couple of inside weeks in here, but really just a tight range after a nice little kind of two-legged pullback to the downside here over the second half of 2018. It's rebounded with the market. It's moved sideways here, holding on to the majority of January's thrust. And when we go down to the daily chart, we can look a little bit closer at this range, and it's really this $50 level. That's what resistance has been. We tested it today. We're pulling off a bit. It has earnings soon. Long-term trend is to the upside, something to pay attention to post-earnings. Next one is AYX. This is one that we highlighted again. We highlighted last week. We're highlighting it again this week. This does have earnings again. I think it's today, in fact, and that's why it's back on this list, is because I wanted just to showcase it once again here. This thing could take off after it reports, but it broke out above this 64 area, and similar to ALSN that we just looked at, it's gone sideways here. So weekly chart for 4 or 5 weeks, just nice and pent up, tight, just under its all-time highs. I like this type of action traditionally for entry setups, but because it has earnings, of course, this thing could be breaking up or down pretty violently over the next 24 hours, but one to watch post earnings. It's also an IBD name. The next 3 come from our watch list. Number 1 here is I, so symbol I. I've never looked at this before prior to this week, but what I like with this particular one's action here is it did report earnings this morning. You can double check that, but earnings, I believe, were out this morning. Volumes coming in here, and this isn't done. This may not be done kind of putting in a sideways kind of bottom here if this does turn into a bottom, but it does look like it's putting in the good work and profile here of kind of finding some buyers, bottoming out here, and then potentially can lift higher in the coming weeks, maybe months, in this type of name. It's a telecom name, long-term uptrend. It had this monster move in 2018. It pulled back pretty reasonably over the past 4 or 5 months. It's moved sideways here, and we'll see if it can start to lift out. I like the high volume move today. Ultimately, it needs to get above 25 or so and start trending to the upside. Longer term name, but I think it's interesting. Next up is LIN. It's a chemicals play here. Weekly chart, I think, tells the story. This does have earnings coming up in the next couple of days, unfortunately, as well. But take a look here at this weekly chart, just finding very clear resistance around this 167 to 170 area. We're testing it now. We're attempting to break out here ahead of earnings. It spent over a year, all of 2018, going sideways here, so it's got plenty of fuel in the tank for a directional move for long-term breakout. We'll see if it can happen. Check out this name post earnings. And last but not least, another earnings play coming up. I apologize for all of these, but it's Etsy, ETSY. This one here, again, probably needs no introduction. It's a highly watched name. It's been in a long-term uptrend now for quite a while here, and we can see if we look at this $57 area or so, it's gone really nice and tight here over the past 5 weeks. It's found resistance just under 57.58, and we're looking for this post earnings to make some type of move here as well, ideally to the upside, but we like the nice tight coiled action, and this is one again to pay attention to after it reports earnings. Our next trade ideas video, this will have its earnings release, so we will get the result, and hopefully this sets up for us for some type of trade. So that's it. That's what I have for this week. 5 names. Lots are earnings plays, so unfortunately, I personally do not like holding into earnings as a swing trader, just too much event risk there. Longer term trend followers, position traders probably makes more sense, but there's action in some of these names as they're nice, tight, and coiled. So even you day traders that are looking for those next day moves after reporting, resolving ranges, I think there's opportunity here. But as always, do your homework. Hopefully you enjoyed the trade idea. Some of these fit your strategy and time frame. As always, every Wednesday, that's when we do these videos. You can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on the TradeRisk blog. Thanks so much. Have a good trading, and talk to you in the next video update.